All the groups are different, but all of them also have the same kind of a ride where you come over and everything is big and magnificent and mysterious. And then you go through a period of, I call it kind of a critical period, where you start criticizing things. And then within a couple of weeks, I'm expecting to start hearing from some of the students, how can I stay here? And that will happen also, because you'll find out that the lifestyle here is very easy. It's an easy place to live. Seville has always been an easy place to live.
I taught Spanish for a year on the campus in Lubbock, so I could really see the difference in the students here versus on campus. Here, you're in class 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then when you go out on the street, you have to speak in Spanish. When you need to get something, you need to buy a notebook, or you want to go out to eat, you have to speak in Spanish. You live with a host family, you have to speak in Spanish. That's the number one advantage, is you have a lot more opportunities. Not to say that you can't speak Spanish in Lubbock, but here you're forced to.
One of the reasons why the TTU Center in Seville has had so much success as a study abroad program at Tech is because we have our own little microcosm of the United States here, where you have kind of an American lifeline, as opposed to if you went through a program like the ones that basically filter students into the University of Seville program. It's much more independent. You're in Spanish classrooms with Spaniards, and here you're in Spanish classrooms with just Tech students. The feeling of homesickness isn't nearly as detrimental to students that are at the center here, because you're able to converse in English and you still have that American feel.
It seems a little bit more of like a haven. You can kind of go and kind of relax. I was over here just a second ago, like writing postcards to my family, and there wasn't any noise, or I can just hang out and do my homework, and others can do the same. It's very, very relaxing. It's a very chill environment. It's very comfortable. It's very friendly.
I think it's better. I think we have an advantage. It's a lot more intimate, I think, because you have more time with teachers. You have more time. They keep it open for us, which is really nice. You have your own key. You don't get lost in the crowd as much as you would at like a university.
There's so many books here that we can use, so many. I've used some of the books for examples that I needed for linguistics, and then a conversation class that I had. So that really helps a lot. And they have scanners here that we can use, and fax machine, and it's a lot of resources. I like having our own center. I think it would be great if other universities have it.
Well, I think the number one advantage for Texas Tech students is that there are no accreditation issues. You don't have to petition for credit. You're registered for a Texas Tech class. So we get graduating seniors. Graduating seniors can't go abroad usually on another program, whereas here they're done with class like this semester May 4th and could walk May 10th.
And these credits actually count towards our degrees, so it's not setting us back any. As I know of a lot of students who study abroad, they're actually set back because of credits not transferring or not counting.
I'm glad Tech has its own center here. It just made things so much easier. You register for classes just like you would at Tech. You do your financial aid just like you would at Tech. Maybe it's just one more building just across the world, sort of.
You catch on pretty quick. Like, it's a pretty intimidating thought, thinking that all of your classes are going to be in another language, but you get accustomed to it pretty quickly. You're not just learning what they're talking about, you're learning to talk as well.
Basically all of our teachers, they've done study abroad before, so they kind of know better on what we're going through. They've all kind of been there and done that.
It seems that it's a lot more personal and they're a lot more accessible. The comfort of being able to go and reach your professors within matter of seconds has been very cool, and it's not so busy all the time.
We're here for the students. I'm at the doctor's at least 3 or 4 times a week with students, just to translate or really kind of help them emotionally through if they're sick or whatever. And I think that's quite uncommon on other study abroad programs, and we will help the students through any kind of issues like that. We kind of sort of turn into a family.
You don't feel alone in a European city because you have people who are interested in you having a good time, they care about you, and they know what's going on, and they know what to tell you in their experience. It makes it all a lot less intimidating, a lot more fun.
Since they are smaller classes, there is a lot more one-on-one time that you can get with professors, I think. Especially if you're struggling with anything, someone's always here, and you don't even necessarily have to ask one of your professor per se. You could ask any of the faculty up here, and they'd be more than willing to help you.
When the center was actually being formed back in the year 2000, the fall of 2000, they asked me what trips or excursions the students might want to go on. And I told them, a series of places around here. What occurred was they basically came out with a flyer then advertising the program saying, and while you're in Spain, Dr. Inglis will lead you on these trips. Well, I didn't know I was going to be doing that. But actually they do fit in very well with the History of Spain class. It's a little bit different, as I say, talk about the Romans and let's go see them.
I love to travel, but I don't like going somewhere and having to figure out what to do myself or what to see by myself. It's a lot more interesting for me to be a follower of somebody else who knows the history of it. It makes it more fun for me because I don't have to worry about what the significance of this place is because I have someone who is an expert on it right next to me.
I've really enjoyed our group trips just because they focus on the more important things that you should see, and especially with Dr. Inglis, he's your own personal tour guide.
Bus trips are nice because you don't have to worry at all. Like the excursions here are great because I just follow. I just go and it's fantastic and I don't have to plan it. So I really like that.
Going with a group, it's great because you get to know everybody. I feel like everyone's sort of a big family at this point. It's nice because it's all planned for us. We just got to get on a bus and go, and they take care of the rest.
I don't know when you'll have another chance to be this immersed in another language, when you'll have a chance to take field trips to Portugal. I took field trips to pumpkin patches and it's a little cooler now.
The Sevillanas class is an opportunity for students to obviously get another side of the culture. The Feria de Abril, or the Fair of April, is a tradition in which basically everybody dances. Even people that don't know how to dance are going through kind of the motions and having a good time with it. It's just another aspect of the culture that I think the program offers.
The Sevillanas, wow. It's more complicated than it looks like, but I think it'll be worth it during Feria. It's been a good experience and maybe get a little workout in between.
The host family experience, I think, is probably the biggest component to language acquisition. A lot of it is what you make of it, but whenever you're living with somebody in somebody's house, there has to be communication with those people, regardless of how, reclusive one might be.
It's so great. I can't imagine coming to Spain without living with a family because you would miss out so much on the culture.
It's decreased a lot of the stress. I essentially don't even have to feed myself. I just show up and she gives me food. She does all her laundry and clean. I've never been such a bum in my life and it's so great.
Carmen does my laundry for me probably twice a week. I mean, all meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That probably, along with me living alone, they're always very if you need anything, you tell us. If you want anything, just say so.
They cook for you. They have somebody that comes and cleans. You can get used to that.
You learn a lot about culture through the host family, through the foods that they prepare, their interactions with each other. Certain students take more advantage of it than others, but the more you communicate with the host family, the better your Spanish is going to be.
Spaniards normally go outside to socialize, and so very rarely would a tourist, even if you have connections here in Spain, go inside of a Spaniard's house, much less live with them. You really get a side of the culture that a tourist would never be able to acquire.
Everything is pretty much taken care of. She definitely washes my clothes, folds it for me. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner is covered. I know a couple of other people who didn't live with the host family, and I can say that they've missed out on a lot of things.
Even if you're here for just 10 days and you go back, you will not be the same person. Now, some of the students, very few of the students, have done a lot of traveling, and that's an eye-opening event, it's an educational event. So that's one of the things that occurs when you have these kinds of study abroad experiences. And they'll see things that they've only seen in textbooks or in magazines or in photos. And this is something I think it's an eye-opener in many respects. But not just in the classroom, it's across the board.
I think if someone were to think about coming here, I would convince them until they make the decision that they are coming, because it is an opportunity, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and the program is a really good program.
I say come. If you're the least bit interested in experiencing another culture, you should do it. Even if you're not interested, you cannot learn a language studying in class. You have to go out and experience it. So go to Spain. It's the best ever. Go somewhere. Go to Spain.
I mean, it definitely helps your language. Definitely get to travel a lot. You get to experience a whole different culture. It's something that not many people can say they do.
If you've got that glimmer of an idea that, hey, that might interest me, do it. take advantage of it. You know, if you've got the means to and you've got the motivation to, then definitely take advantage of that, because I think it's an experience that is, you know, priceless.
If you're thinking about it, just do it. Like, when else are you going to study in Spain?
Especially people who come study abroad for the first time or travel abroad even for the first time. Coming with Texas Tech is more advantageous because they have everything planned for you, basically. They have the house planned for you, your meals are planned for you, your laundry's done for you, trips are planned for you. I think overall I'm very happy with Texas Tech. I'm glad I did it.
You just gotta come. I can't explain it, so I guess they have to come if they want to know what it's like.
From here, Sevilla is just the beginning. It's just the beginning to everything, and to the rest of Europe, the rest of the world. I definitely wouldn't put any price or anything else in my life to change that coming here. Absolutely the best decision I ever made.
I think we do get a lot of students who wouldn't necessarily go abroad if it weren't through a Texas Tech program. I mean, I think we can offer a lot of different experiences to different types of students, from the student who's not sure, nervous about coming abroad and wants to come maybe just for a few weeks in the summer, versus someone who wants to come for an academic year and have the full experience, because that's what this is. Somebody once told me, you're in the life-changing business, and I think it's true.